My name is Brenda Black, and I am 56 now, and I have been trying to get my weight under control, especially after hitting 40, and get it back down to something comfortable, which at this point I'm thinking is somewhere between 135, 130-ish, with enough muscle mass to maintain. So basically I have struggled with weight loss. I've never felt like I was weak in any way, but because I was working out, I was doing like fit classes and things like this, but it's like just always struggled with consistency, I guess would be the word I would say. So being consistent in my workouts, I would maybe sign up for an 8-week course on something, and I would work really hard on those 8 weeks and just really go for it. And then it's like at some point my body realized what I was doing and said, oh, no, you can't lose this weight. We're comfortable where you're at, And I was like, no, it can't be like that. And then I'd get frustrated, and then I would go off and not do what I was supposed to do, gain the weight back or more. So yo-yo all the time. I also was having struggles with my form. I felt like a lot of times when I was doing a squat or some other exercise, I thought, gee, that seems a little too painful, like it should be a little bit easier, or maybe I'm just not sure about that. So, and again, the bigger problem with all of that, with that struggle, was the frustration that comes along with that, and that you get frustrated and you start to have the feeling that you're working so hard with no results. And you're watching what you're eating, you're working your fanny off to the point of being sore, and nothing's happening. And again, because of that, I'd get frustrated, I'd give up, and go back to doing the same old bad habits. And that's not a healthy way to live.
So how did those struggles and frustrations affect your life?
It was kind of like I felt disappointed in myself more than anything else. I mean, I know I've got the discipline to do it. But at some point, I guess I would get to a certain point and then feel like I'm not going any further, like I wasn't able to get past that plateau or whatever happened, and then I couldn't move forward, and that was the most difficult part of that. It made me feel tired. Again, you feel a little blue, you feel, all those things that go along with that, just not feeling like I'm fulfilling the thing that I know I'm supposed to complete. The other problem I have is that, when I don't eat right or I'm not doing the right exercises, I start to feel like my joints hurt and things like this. Especially as I'm getting older, I'm noticing that even more. Let's see. So at that point, when it got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore, I came in and talked to Demarius, and we said, okay, I need to do something. We'll need to do something. So he suggested coming in and working out with him on a weekly basis, which was great. When that happened, it was like I was able to say, okay, I have to commit to this. I'm going to be accountable to this. I have to really focus, and he was making sure I was very focused and very committed, and he was watching what I was doing to make sure, of course, my form was right. And I still struggle with some of my form, but that's just, my body is still working on it. But having that instruction, having somebody there to listen, and somebody there to direct or make modifications unique to my own needs has been really great. Let's see, what else?
What's been your overall experience with Pro Plus?
What's been the overall experience? I think it's just that everybody has been great. I mean, all of you have, like if I've mentioned something, like I'm struggling with this or I'm having a problem with this, you all listen, and then you go, well, why don't we try this? Or what if we modify that? Or let's adjust this and see if that works. And so far, every time we've done that, it has helped, and the most recent one would be the whole, I said, yeah, I'm still working hard and I still want to lose some weight. And he said, well, let's talk to Wendy, let's do the nutrition thing and really focus on that along with a little bit of the exercise. Let's modify a little bit, see what happens. And that's been like huge improvement over, and again, it's a team effort. Everybody's communicating and we're all, combining our thoughts and ideas in order to work on this one little problem. So that's been wonderful. And like I said, all of you guys have been great, and I love it.
Was there something that was surprising about ProPlus, or something that you struggled with within your program?
The only struggle would be my soreness, but I think that's legitimate. I mean, I was sort of expecting that. Because when we work out, we push it. And that's the other thing about ProPlus is that I think in the past I would exercise, but I wasn't really pushing myself beyond what I needed to do. And with ProPlus, I'm getting that, come on now, I can see that you're there, you just need to do it, you can do it. You can do it, don't hold back, go for it. And so I'm pushing myself harder than I've ever pushed before. And that is amazing. And I feel much stronger. And so I'm really happy with that. I'm feeling like I can do almost anything. Like, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And the support that I get, the instruction, all of it just really helps to motivate that and keep me going forward in that strength. And I'm really excited about that.
So how's your life now after your program?
I'm a lot more energetic, I think. I have grandchildren, so I like to play hard. So I love having that energy for them. I feel like I'm fitting into my clothes I haven't fit into forever, which is fantastic, because I held on to them thinking, okay, maybe one of these days I'll be able to get back into my skinny jeans.
How much have you lost?
29 pounds.
How many more are you
I'm still trying to lose. I've got another 11 to go, and then I'll be on maintenance. And I have gone back to working out again. So I've been working out with Bryson, and that is, again, it's having to work harder again, and I'm a little bit sore, but I'm okay with that. It's all good. I'm really excited. I'm really happy about the fact that I'm the closest I've ever been to getting to my goal, which is 135. Yeah. I haven't been that since, gosh, before my first child. How long ago? How old is she now? She's 30.
I weigh more than that.
So I'm like, So if I can get to 135, I'll be like, thank you. So I'm only 5 feet tall. So 135, I think is a healthy, it's a healthy weight for me with muscle. So, and that's what I want. I want the strength and the weight loss.
What's been the biggest difference that you've seen in yourself?
I think the biggest difference for me is the feeling that I kept having this attitude of I couldn't do it, and now I'm kind of getting to the point where, you know what, it looks like it's going to happen. It looks like everything is coming together. We're adjusting everything in a way that will get me where I need to be, and that's fantastic. So I'm really excited about that. Looking forward to it. I know I still have a lot of work ahead of me, because even on maintenance, I'm going to have to really watch it. Apparently, I'm very sensitive to carbohydrates, so no cheating. But I've gotten to where I'm at right now, and I've got the support of everyone here, so I think I'm looking pretty good, and I'm happy about it.
Good. Were you skeptical before signing up with ProPlus Fitness, whether it would work or not?
I think my attitude on that whole thing, not so much skepticism as it was, I like training. I like lifting weights. I've lifted weights for a long time, just never with someone who was there, like making sure I exactly did it the right way and with enough weights. And so I kind of was more on the side of not so much skepticism as it was, I really feel like I need to have that structure. And I've never really had it on a full-time basis. Like I said before, I had bought like blocks of time with somebody or a group to do group exercises, but never actually focused just myself with a trainer saying, this is what we're going to do, this is how you're going to do these weights, this is what the form needs to look like. No, you didn't get it right, do it over, multiple times. But just having that, I think, was enough to push me so I could do better. I could feel stronger. And, I think when I originally did it, I thought, all right, it's going to cost me something. Well, it's going to cost me something if I don't work out because my health is not improving. And so for me, at the original part of this, it was, okay, there's an expense involved, but you know what? That's part of my health insurance for me. That's part of my feel good for me. I'm okay with that. We'll sacrifice something else to do this. And I'm totally comfortable with that. And that's been the best part of this, is that I'm okay with that. I'm okay to pay that price to do this because it needed to happen. And I feel so much better for it.
So what would you tell someone who's thinking about doing it?
I would say look at the amount of money and time and energy you're spending now just trying to get yourself to where you want to be. And how many times you've spent money on something that didn't work. This works. You have to do the work. It's not an easy fix. There is money involved, but you're paying for something that's going to work. And that's the most important thing, is that trust what you have. This group is great. Don't look back, just do it, plunge in, get the work. If one of your goals is to lose weight, I definitely suggest you go and talk to Wendy and get the nutrition part of that straightened out. That's the part that if I had to do over, I would have started that at the same time instead of trying to do the weights first and then doing the nutrition. But I thought I knew better because I'm a little arrogant that way. So now that I've been doing that, though, I do realize that would be something I would have changed at the beginning. I would have done it all together at the beginning. But I guess that's what I'd say is don't look back, just go for it.
So you said before that you had experience, weight training, you love training,
Yeah.
You said you already knew, what I should do, but you weren't seeing the changes. So what would you say to someone who feels like they could do it on their own?
See, I've managed gyms. And I've trained with people. It's not like I don't know the weights. It's not like I don't understand all of this nutrition and all that stuff. I think it's just a matter of the accountability. I honestly believe, and this is for me, I honestly need to be accountable. Because if I know every week I'm coming in here and someone's looking to say, did you do that set that I set up for you the other day? Did that happen? Well, how did you feel after you did that set? And you're like going, I didn't do it. Okay, shame on me. I knew I was supposed to come in and do that set. So, yeah, I know how to do it. I know what's supposed to be done, but I really do better when I'm accountable to somebody for doing the work. And so that was my motivation, was knowing that somebody would be looking at that going, did you log those calories? Did you eat what you were supposed to eat? Did you do the exercises? Was all of that happening the way that we set it up for you? And so, I'm like, okay, I guess I better do what I'm doing or I'm going to be embarrassed next time I go in, and I don't want to be embarrassed. No embarrassment.
Okay, so just overall, would you do it all over again? Would you recommend Pro Plus?
In a heartbeat. If someone were to ask me, should I do Pro Plus, I'd say absolutely. but they're going to have to listen, and they're going to have to not be stubborn like I am, and they're going to have to do, and follow along, and communicate, I think, is the other thing that's really important. And be honest about what it is you really want to do, because that's another thing. When I first started, I was more about, okay, I wanted to be strong, so I was really focusing and saying, I want to be strong, I want to get stronger in all of my exercises, and I kind of put weight as a secondary thing. But then as I got farther along, I started to realize that even as I was getting stronger, the weight wasn't coming off. And so I said, maybe I need to adjust my priority and say, maybe the weight needs to come off and then work on the strength. So that's the other thing, is just being upfront and honest with yourself about what you want exactly.
So what's your experience like working with the coaches? With Demarius and Bryson?
Oh, they're all great. Yeah. I mean, even Mariah, like sometimes they would all tag team and say, nope, she needs to do this, or nope, she needs to do that. And it was great because everybody is really good at listening. Everyone's really good, at thinking about what you're talking about and then coming back with a solution or another idea or another plan of attack that will help. Because my body especially is unique in terms of it'll get to a certain point and then it'll go, oh, no. And so you have to try something different. And they were all really good about being able to say, oh, well, if that doesn't work, let's try this, And so I really love that. I love that they listen. They're all pretty funny and they have great senses of humor, which I love. Let's see what else. It's hard because I've never been. When I got down to like 157, which was the lowest I've ever been in quite a few years, I said to her, I don't know if I can get past this. I said, and that's kind of where I plateaued. It was kind of a mental thing for me. So I plateaued at 157, and she said, yeah, she goes, how do you feel? She goes, and I said, well, I'm worried because I've never been any thinner than that. I'm thinking maybe it doesn't work, maybe it won't happen. And she says, I think you'll be okay. She goes, just stick with the program, and so it took another week, and then of course I dropped another 2 pounds, and I was like, wow, I'm below, okay, so I'm broken through the plateau. But I was like, I haven't been that thin in a long time. And so being under 100, what am I now, 146? So I'm under the 50s. So I'm like, great. I'm like, okay, this is really, different. It's having not been there before is exciting. It's a little scary because I still keep thinking, is it really happening? But I just committed and said, you know what? I'm going to trust what she says. I'm going to trust what Bryson and Demarius are doing on the training, and I'm just going to let them handle it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's working.
How have you, your husband? How has everybody been reacting?
My husband is he's happy. He's like, but he's always been kind of real affectionate anyway. So there's no changes there. But he's like, you're so tiny, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not that big a person. And he says, yeah, but you're really tiny. And so I just said, okay, you keep stating that, every day. Well, you're really tiny. And I said, yeah, I'm still losing weight, and I'm going to be a little bit more tinier. Are you going to be okay with that? And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm cool with that. So, yeah, he cracks me up. Because I said, Mr. Obvious, I said, yeah. And then I have to laugh because, I had one of our roommates came in and said, Brenda, did you lose weight? And I said, me? No, I haven't lost any weight. And my son looks at me and he crosses his eyes and looks at me, and I said, and he looks at his friend and he says, yeah, she lost weight. She's pulling your leg. I said, no, I've always been this way.
Oh, that's so funny.
So yeah, I like to give people a hard time when they ask me that question.
So what are you going to do once you get to 135?
At that point, I'm gonna have to do maintenance. I'm gonna have to do. I'll probably have to do some intermittent fasting to help tighten up some skin because I am a little on the saggy side there. But that's because of my age and babies and things like that. So, Wendy suggests that and bone broth, and so we've started talking about that and what that's going to look like. And so I'll probably have to stick a a little bit longer with the nutritionist, you know, to try and work up until I get to my maintenance and see if we can see what that looks like. Yeah.
You've already had such a incredible transformation. I can't even imagine once you're fully.
Yeah, I know. It'll be interesting.
Like you're never done, you know.
Well, that's the thing. You know, when you think about transformation, I always think of butterflies. You know, they come into this cocoon and then they pop out, and you know, and then but you have to realize when the butterfly is the worm, when he's the caterpillar, he's eating plants and things. Whereas the butterfly comes out and there's this transformation. Well, now the butterfly needs to stick to nectar, and that nectar is what supplies the butterfly until it reproduces or whatever. But there's changes. You know, the butterfly's not going to go back to eating, you know, what it was eating before. It is now something new and different, and it has to stay within that particular area of you know, living. And I think that's the part what we sometimes forget when you say transformation. There are changes, and you do have to stick with that transformative change.
It's a whole lifestyle change.
You cannot go back. Yeah, whole lifestyle. This is not, it is completely new lifestyle. So that's the part that, you know, that I try to focus on is that, no, this is the new butterfly. You know, we're no longer the caterpillar. This is the new one. So.
Brenda.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So that works for me.
Yeah.